a few people now, so hello everybody. There's some people now joining us. For those who are new to Farnell Clark, or I'm Rebecca, I look after new clients here, primarily in our services offering. So we're always trying to come up with new ways of extending our service offering, and one of the key features that we always concentrate on businesses, business wealth, cash flow. And with the help of Peter, who's on the call here, we've got this great new product and service offering whereby we can start to look at individuals and really support yourselves, what your goals are. So we can offer support and services for the business if you're a business client, but then obviously always and then look at you as an individual. So on the call today, we've got Patrick.
Hello.
Hello, and Patrick's going to introduce himself shortly, and we've also got Peter, who's from MyProsperity, doing the demonstrations.
Hi, everyone.
Cool. So, with that in mind, Patrick, over to you.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm Patrick Levy. I'm one of the managers here at Farnell Clark, and I won't hold you up too long. We'll get to a product demonstration just shortly with Peter, but I just wanted to just give an overview of the services that we do provide, because often accountants will be misconstrued as just doing year-end accounts and tax. Far from the truth. We do all sorts besides. So I work as a management accountant, so working with business owners every month to go through the numbers and see how the business is doing. I also work as a virtual CFO, so fully involved on the board, so to speak. We, as you can see on your screen here, the main thing is that we actually just want businesses to do really well. So it's far beyond compliance. It's working with businesses to get the most out of what can be done, and to do the best you can. So with that in mind, you may be wondering why we have what we're calling Finance Central, which is a way of actually organizing your personal finances into one place. But more than that, it's kind of joining the dots between your business finances and between that and your personal finances, because you can get your business valuation in there and you can get all the pieces of the puzzle all together in one place to really see how you're doing. So that's kind of where we're coming from. That's why we're offering this service, is because we don't see businesses as separate legal entities only. As accountants, so we're all trained to tell that the businesses are separate from the business owners and all this kind of thing. We see you guys as you're all individuals, you're all people behind those businesses, and so this is part of that, is being able to provide clarity on the other side of your life, which is your personal finances. So Rebecca, we had a question we were going to put up on the screen there, and this one was just generally, we're going to put a poll up on the screen here, which was just a quick question to say, do you feel in control of your finances? And you should be able to vote there on the screen. It's just a simple yes or no or don't know, so we'll leave that open for a few moments. And yeah, fire away, just vote on the screen there. And what do you reckon, Rebecca? That'll do it, or we'll give it a moment. So if you think about your finances in general, it could be your business, could be your personal.
Cool. Right. I think we're about there. Just going to end that poll and share it with you guys.
Yeah. All right. That is a good result. That's what we like to see. So we're hoping that we've got people on the call who work with us, people who don't work with us. So it's good to see that a good proportion of you do feel in control of your finances, but a good proportion of you don't. They're 33% there, not entirely sure. So that's hopefully that's something we can help with to provide a bit of clarity there on the old finances. So let's hand over to Peter here, who will take you through what this new product does, Finance Central. So I'll just stop sharing my screen there. And Peter, Over to you.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself, please. So,
Thank you. Let me just do this. So can you see that okay, Patrick, now?
can do, yes.
Right. Hi, everyone. My name's Peter McCarthy. I'm founder of a business called MyProsperity, and really excited to be working with Farnell Clark as we launch what we call Finance Central. So basically, we're a platform that helps people or households get their financial world sorted. So what we think is people having everything in one place. We're really passionate about this, where people have their whole financial world in one place. They can make better financial decisions, whether it be around helping grow their business, helping grow their personal wealth, helping look after their family, setting retirement goals, whatever it may be. Really passionate about if people have one place to do all this stuff, they'll make better decisions. We work with hundreds of accounting firms and advisory firms around the world. We track in excess of now 60 billion worth of assets on behalf of clients of firms. And that's basically so that people can track their whole financial world and, as I said, hopefully make better decisions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through our platform. So hopefully you can all see my screen there. And this is just a demo account that I've set up so I can show you some of the functionality this evening, or this morning, I should say. And basically there's some really key parts around this. It's where a client can request help for a product or service, where you can track your net worth, all your cash flow and set goals. And I suppose the first thing and where we start is the ability for someone to really simply and easily and quickly build a balance sheet. So I might ask you, Rebecca, now, if that's okay, just to put up a poll around the first question around, from me, around people if they have a way to track their net worth.
Yes, I'll launch that now. And just apologies, I should have said, you will see there is a little Q&A box. So as we're now going through the demo, if there's anything that you've got any further questions on, then at the end, we'll have a few minutes to try and answer those questions for you. So please do just ping away. But here's the poll now.
So one of the things that's really important is to know where you're starting. If you're trying to get your financial world sorted and in order and take control of your finances, is really simple question: do you know or track your net worth? I'll give you a few moments to answer that. So perhaps while you're doing that...
yeah, we've got a couple more. Anybody else? I think we're about there, Peter, and I'm going to share that.
Great. So, well... So when we look at this, 88% don't know their net worth. So let's solve that. So one of the things we want to do is make it really easy to build a household balance sheet. So this is how simple it is. I've already got some information in here, but let's assume we were starting from scratch. Now, typically what we find is the first thing most people add is their property. So simple to do. You just type in your address. So you live in Hudson Way, Norwich. This is an example. It's your home. You go continue. We just go to validate that's a correct address. So we'll choose that one. Continue, and it goes off live to Zoopla, which is our property data feed company that we use. Many of you be aware of that, one of the leading property sites in the UK, and it brings back in an estimate of your property, the average price for Norwich and the Zoopla price range. And of course, if you think that the property is worth more or less, you can just override that value. So very quickly there, I've added my home. I can then go through and add things like my pension account. So, for example, if my pension was with Aviva or Bank of Scotland, whoever it may be, or Barclays, you can just link your account as you would your online pension account, and it brings through on a daily basis the current value of your pensions. You can then go through and link your bank account. So if you, for example, have a bank account with, again, Bank of Scotland or Barclays, we cover the vast majority of the UK banks, then it will again bring in the balance and transactions on a daily basis. and then you can just quickly work through and build a balance sheet. Now, what we find is most people either don't have a net worth, a way to track their net worth, or if they do, they maybe use something like Excel or just paper and pen to do this. But you can very quickly link all those accounts. You can even link your credit card accounts.
I had someone say, why would I need this? I've got online banking. And I could see, and I was like, no. You can't get all this stuff in one place with online banking.
That's right. So what we find is, a number of clients have numerous logins across a number of accounts. And what we want to see is one consolidated view rather than having multiple logins to do this. You've just got one login to see everything. And basically, so you can link your credit cards, you can link any investment properties you have, you can put in values of your car, you can even add in an approximate value of your business. So, you can put in your business name, let's say it's XYZ Limited. You can put in approximate valuation. And if you don't know, you can reach out to the team at Farnell Clark, Patrick, or your accountant and get help with putting in place a business valuation as well. So you can even go through, you can add collectibles, it might be artwork, you can put in other liabilities, which might be, a loan to your family or friends, or wherever it may be. And you just build out a balance sheet. And the aim was that once that's done, it should only take a few minutes, then probably for the first time in your life, you've got as close to as possible a real-time balance sheet. So now let's have a look at that. So here is all my pension accounts coming through. So this person's obviously going to retire wealthy with a number of large pension accounts, but you've got your home. Now, the other cool thing that we find is with a lot of people is they have, for example, a property, but they have documents that relate to that, which might be a copy of title or a contract when they purchase the property. So you can store all your documents as well online. So you can just very simply upload a document anywhere throughout the site. So here's my home. I've then got my investment property. Now, the other thing that's really useful with this, if you do own an investment property, is you can connect your with your property manager so that the property statements come through each month automatically. We get those, we digitally read them and file them so that you've got copies of all your rent statements coming in automatically, and you can store those really. So there's no work, you just wire this up and it all happens automatically. You can also create to-dos, and that might be a reminder for when your lease expires, or if there's something you've got to do with this property. And again, you can store documents that relate to that, which might be a copy of your lease or contract when you purchase the property. Again, here's the value of my business that's come through. So I can, again, store documents that relate to my business, which might be any agreements that I have with my partners in the business. And I can also update that valuation from time to time. And again, all my bank accounts are coming through. So I've got all my savings, my bank or check accounts. I've got all my credit card balances coming through. And again, any other, all my loans, mortgages, etc. So now the cool thing about this as well is we look at it from a household point of view. So this can be, you can have assets that are owned in your name or your spouse's name or partner's name, and then you can say, I just want to run a balance sheet on everything that's in Julie's name, and it'll run through everything that Julie owns, in this case just a car. But it might be, you can run through and say, I want to know what's owned in my company. And that could be just your business, for example. So you can have a look at your total net worth as a household, and then break it down to various people or entities within your group. The other thing that we automate, which is really cool, you can view these at any time, but sometimes you might, we automate it that you, for example, once a month, might get a report that looks something like this, which is a live update, because we've got all these live feeds coming through on exactly what's happening in your financial world. So here is a total view, and you can have this automated set once a month or once a quarter, where it gives you total assets, liabilities, a complete list of everything you want to know and who owns it, and then a history of your wealth, and then basic projections moving forward. So again, just a really cool way to stay on top of your total net worth. and it's all automated. So once you wire it up, which takes 5-10 minutes, once that's set up, then this is all automated for you. So that's a summary of the balance sheet tracker or your asset and liability statement, and that's automatically updated, as I said, on a daily basis where the feeds are available. Now, what we find is most people don't have a way of tracking net worth, so hopefully we've solved that. Now, the next thing we find is people want to know, now that I know what I'm worth, I want to know where my money's going. So I might ask you to put the next poll up if that's okay, Rebecca. So the next question is, and just I've always found interesting, is do you know across the board, across all your accounts, where your money goes each month? One thing we've found is no matter whether you're mid, low, high net worth, that everyone feels that they've got money coming in and they're not sure where it all goes each month. And it'd be really, useful to know exactly where your money's going. So I might just take a second to respond to that. Okay, so that's interesting. So probably what we'd expect. So 25% no, 13% have no idea, and 63% kind of. And I think that's probably around the mark, don't you think, Patrick and Rebecca? Is what we expected?
Yeah, I think it's fairly common that people have a vague general feel for how the finances are going, but don't really know exactly.
Yeah.
So
every single account that you have, you might know, oh, I go here and I go there, but as a broad thing, you don't have that all in one place, do we?
no. So now let's solve that. So now with cash flow, because it links all those accounts, credit cards, bank accounts, etc., it then brings in and automatically categorises all the expenses. So it will give you a daily update on exactly what you're spending on groceries or home improvements or mortgages or petrol or whatever it may be. So this, as I said, is updated daily. It's automatically categorised, but you can also set your own categories or groups that you want to track. The other thing that's really useful for those that need to provide information from an accounting point of view is it's really simple to go through and just tag things for tax and say, well, that's a income rent, or that's a deduction or an expense that you can claim, and then you can create rules for that really simply. So rather than going through and looking at your personal bank accounts or credit card statements where you may have deductible expenses, you can do this all in one place. You can even add copies of receipts. You can create rules so that when tax time comes, you can just go through and export all those transactions with all the supporting documents.
Okay.
Yeah. So instead of doing it in a very painful process once a year, it's kind of as you go along.
Yeah. So we've got a question come in, Peter, for you.
Yeah.
We've got a question come in saying, is the challenge is categorization of expenditure, seeing it all going out. What about cash expenses? Is there anywhere on the portal, Peter, we can look at like cash that doesn't go through the bank account?
Yeah. So when you have a cash expense, you can just put that as have a category that's cash payments, and take. So typically, and you can just put a note with that as to where the money goes.
Lovely.
So yes, you can. You typically have that as a ATM withdrawal, and then you can make a note of all those cash amounts, and then you can make comments as to where that money goes. I just noticed there's another question around two-factor authentication, and the answer to that is yes. You can put in multi-factor authentication, which makes sure that your data is secure. So that's cash flow. Now, the other thing, should you want to, you can also set budgets. So you can track how you're tracking against the budgets that you send each month or each quarter or each year. And it'll tell you in real time. This one's not doing a very good job because it's all red, but it will tell you exactly how you're tracking against your budget. And most people do this on a spreadsheet or manually, and this just does it in real time and updates it on a daily basis. Okay, so again, I know my net worth. I know where my money's going, and I can track that, and I can store receipts or any documents, and I can do that all online in one place across all my accounts. Okay, now the other thing that when we've reviewed this, and a lot of people have said one of the issues for them is, basically, what if something goes wrong? My financial affairs, I'd love to have them in order, that if ever I needed to claim on insurance, or heaven forbid, my spouse family needed a copy of my will, that I'd like everything in one place. And typically, and I can tell you firsthand, a family member of ours recently passed away, and it was basically a shoebox of information that was all in the bottom of the closet or the wardrobe, with all their copies of wills and documents. So we think it's really important from a protection point of view to have everything in one place. So basically here you can put details of all your insurance, so your life insurance, the sum insured. You can store copies of policy documents. And the other thing that's really useful is you can set to-dos or reminders around either reviewing it or renewal dates for those policies to make sure that nothing ever lapses or isn't current. Now, the other thing that's really...
I find that invaluable, by the way, just before you go on, about the insurance, because just every year it comes around, every year I can't find the stuff, every year I can't remember what I paid last time. So just putting everything in there is so much easier.
And I know some people say they, whether it be their car insurance or life insurance, they honestly can't remember who the insurance is with when they go to claim. So at least it's all here in one place. The other thing that's important is just if anything did happen, that you had one place for your will, etc. That's a copy's uploaded for your executor. Do we have a poll question on this, Rebecca?
Yes, we do. I'll launch that now.
So one of the things that we know when most people, when they go into this platform, or a number of them, either don't know where their will is, don't have an up-to-date will, but it's something they want to do an update. So it'd be interesting to get the responses from the attendees as to whether they have an up-to-date will and if they know where it is. Very good. So 63% do have an up-to-date will, 38% no. So there's something for you guys to do. The ones that do have an up-to-date will, then the thing is, if anything did happen, where is it stored? So sorry, I'll just come back to here. So here you've got, you can upload a scanned copy of your will with where the original is stored. Again, you can just upload that as a document. You can also set reminders to review will. But the other thing that is important is that if anything happened, that there was an executor kit that was available. So here is a sample of that. So here's the executor kit, which has an overview about what the role of an executor is, who the will's for, any beneficiaries, who my key advisors are, my accountant, my lawyer, etc. And then a detailed balance sheet of everything they own and owe, who owns it, details of all the insurance and supporting documents. So really then the executor doesn't have to hunt around looking for information. It's all in one place. So that's if anything goes wrong, which we hope it doesn't, but it's good to have all that in one place. The other thing is that's really important is setting goals. And basically here's a place to create your goals. I think we had a survey question on that as well, didn't we, Rebecca? Or not? Maybe we didn't. Yes. So do you have a financial goal? So do you have anything that, whether it be for retirement or saving or reducing debt, is there something that, do you have a goal and I suppose do you track it as well?
Lovely. I think we're about there.
That's cool. So the great thing is, here 86% of people have a goal, 14% don't. But those that do, we want to make it really easy to track that goal and make sure that you were trending okay and that you're on track. So it's so easy to create a goal in our platform. Basically, all you do is say, for example, let's say it's a debt reduction goal. You go next. You link that account because we've got the live feed coming through. Let's say you want a goal to pay that off in 10 years. Interest rate, say 3%. And the cool thing is, because we've got this live feed coming through, it then tracks that, and you know on a monthly basis. So you don't get out here 10 years or 8 years down the track and say you're behind. You know on an ongoing basis whether you're on track, and and you get updated every month on that. So a really cool goal setting feature that you can put in place. And again, being a platform that was really designed for a household, you can build out your financial team. So in your team is all family members, so you can add in your spouse, and you can give everyone guest access to some, none, or all of this platform. So that's totally up to you to configure, and we've got all the security measures in place that people can only see what you're comfortable with. You can even invite in, as I said, your accountant, and put details. If you have companies or trusts, you can add those as well. So, and what we find is this is all about building out a household platform for you to share, so that everyone's coming to the one place. So that's the team that we have, and then you've got all your documents stored. Excuse me. So this is like Dropbox for your financial world. So you can create your own folders that could include all your tax returns, or your, whether it be any agreements, receipts, whatever it may be, can all be uploaded into the doc storage area. So that's a really quick run through what we call the desktop version. But I would say now, more so than ever before, and I'll just put this here, most of the time, clients, when they come in, it's all on the mobile app. So part of this is when you register an account via Farnell Clark, you can then download the app, and everything, pretty much everything I've showed you on our desktop site is all available on the app. So for example, here, I've got my net worth. So it gives an overview. Everything I've added there throughout is all now live on my mobile app. I can add documents to anything. I can set reminders for things. I've got all my portfolios, my pensions, all my assets and liabilities all flowing through. It then can also give me a snapshot of how my wealth is tracking over time. It can also give a breakup of my assets and all my liabilities. And again, that's updated where possible on a daily basis. I then also have all my cash flow coming through. So again, these are all these transactions. So across all my accounts, or you can filter just by account, but it has all the income and expenses, all the transactions. And let's say, for example, you know, this is a donation here that I've made. I can really easily add a copy of the receipt. I can tag it so I remember that's something that I need to provide to Farnell Clark for my tax. I can also view exactly, really simply and easily, exactly where all my money is going and track that against whether it be my credit card account or basically across all accounts.
Yeah, I used to use Xero for this, tracking all my personal stuff, and then I saw this. Xero is no more.
Yeah, so it just makes it really easy to track, again, your net worth and where all your money's going. And what we found is over the last couple of years in particular, most people now are viewing all this on their mobile. Again, here's all my documents. So if I want to find any document that's been uploaded, you can do that just really simply. So let's say you want to, it might be your will that you want to review, or a receipt, whatever it may be. It's all just there, and you can retrieve that on mobile. And if you need to share it with someone, you can just email it or forward it through to them. So this is great if you do even things like applying for finance or whatever, and you ask for all this information, it's all here. You've also got all these useful links in the app. So all those goals that we've added, or goals that you've created, you can see how you're tracking, and the system will notify you on an ongoing basis how you're tracking to make sure that you stay on track. So all your goals are there. You've got any task. And this is really cool if you're someone like me that needs to have a list of things that I need to do. It's so easy to create a reminder. So you can say, I want to, assign a task to someone. So it could be myself, or my wife's often assigning jobs for me to do with our finances. You can create a to-do date, and you can just say, I need to do that by this date, and I want to be reminded every week until it's done, and save, and then you'll get push notifications on the app to remind you to do that. So it just makes it really simple to stay in control of your finances. And then we've also got details of all your insurance policies are in the app as well. So you can view that, and you can download reports. There's even a logbook for Apple users to, if you need to track mileage for tax purposes, and other useful links to Xero and any other software that you use. So that's a really quick run through, an overview of the desktop version, and then also the app that we put in, that you can download once you register an account through Farnell Clark.
Great stuff. Well, thank you very much, Peter. So I hope everyone found that useful, seeing how that works. One thing to note, as Peter just said then, is that it is a service provided through Farnell Clark, and it can be accessed through, you can register through our website, and then you access it through a browser or the mobile like you just saw. So if I just show you where that can be done. Rebecca, is there a survey going out after which will have this? I think there'll be a link in there. So you don't have to note this down right now, but just to show you, our website looks like this, farnellclark.co.uk. So you can access this through our services and Finance Central right there. And that has a page with the information. There's the link to it here. And Peter, do you want to just quickly give us an overview of the difference between the free version, which is what you'd have if you just signed up and didn't press any buttons at the beginning, and the difference between Starter and Pro there?
Well, I would say, thanks, Patrick. This is a sneak peek into something that we're launching with Farnell Clark. And part of it is that we've created a free version that you can download, which gives you the ability to get a free online house estimate through Zoopla. You can manually put in your balances. You can also upload CSV files of transactions and store documents such as receipts and wills. Should you want to upgrade to live bank feeds, so daily updates of all the transactions, etc., that's what we call a Pro account, which is a paid account. And when you download the app, you get the starter account straight away, and then all you have to do is send a request through in-app to Farnell Clark to upgrade you to a Pro account.
Thanks, Peter, for that. There's a couple of questions now coming in about the service offering. So as Patrick mentioned, straight after this webinar, you should all kindly receive a link to a survey. So we'd really like to get your feedback and your input as to how we design our service. You might, as Peter said, you might feel confident enough to do this yourself, and off you go. But equally, we really want to be involved to give you that advice and sort of help you with that. So again, this is just an insight. We have all your details. So as soon as we go live with the full package, we will obviously send those details across to you, and we'll more. And again, any questions afterwards, reach out to myself or even Patrick. We'll happily answer any other questions regarding the actual service that we're providing. We just wanted to share some really good insights, overview of the product itself. So yeah, is there anything to add from yourself, Patrick, on that? No,
just what we've covered already. That yeah, you can just apply through us and then just crack on and do it yourself, or as someone else has said in the answer to the question you just answered, if you're not a fan of not a fan of computers, and that sort of thing, then we can help out as well. So we just speak to us about that.
Lovely. Well, thank you again, Peter, obviously for your time and staying up a little bit later to walk us through.
Yeah, Peter's in Australia. In case you're wondering why he said good evening earlier, and didn't. It's not that he. It's not that he doesn't know what time of day it is. He's actually in Australia.
Yeah. And again, thank you, Patrick. And by all means, please reach out. We'd love to hear what you thought, and hopefully we'll see you soon for future webinars.